Most men think turning 60 is a slow slide into limits, but the reality is far more interesting. If a man reaches this age and can still perform just a handful of fundamental abilities, physical, mental, emotional, and social, he is not aging well. He is becoming a rarer version of masculinity, a man tempered by life rather than worn down by it. Because age doesn't erase strength. Age exposes it. A man in his 60s has lived storms younger men can't even name. He has faced loss, pressure, competition, responsibility, and moments where he had every excuse to quit, and yet he's still here. And if he can still do the following 7 things, he is not declining. He's entering the era of the forged man. Quiet, steady, and more powerful than he has ever been. Let's begin with the first sign. Sign 1. The body that still listens. A man's body tells the truth long before his words ever do. At 60, no one expects explosive strength or youthful speed. Joints ache, muscles soften, and the body complains more loudly than before. But the real question is simple. Does your body still obey? Most men stop pushing themselves after midlife, not because they're incapable, but because they quietly accept decline as normal. They move less, challenge themselves less, and shrink into a smaller version of life. But a rare kind of man refuses to let his body fall asleep. You know him when you see him. He moves with purpose. He stands without struggle. He walks like gravity still respects him. He doesn't need to bench heavy weights or run marathons. His strength shows up in small but meaningful ways. Climbing stairs without stopping, carrying groceries without trembling, getting out of a chair without hesitation, walking with a deliberate, confident stride, maintaining posture that shows he hasn't surrendered. This kind of strength is not about aesthetics, it's discipline made visible. After 60, the body becomes a reflection of the life you've lived. Some men carry the marks of neglect, others the marks of battle. And the man who still trains, even in small, consistent ways, proves something powerful. He still wants to participate in his own life. When this man enters a room, people feel something different. Younger men notice, women notice. Even strangers sense the presence of a man who didn't let time break him. Because after 60, physical strength becomes symbolic. Every steady step says, "I'm not done." But strength is only half the equation. The second sign is even rarer and far more dangerous. Sign 2. The mind that hasn't dimmed. Some men hit 60 and slowly drift into mental fog, forgetting simple things, losing clarity, or becoming passive because life stopped demanding sharpness from them. But then there's the other kind of man, the type whose mind becomes sharper with age. He thinks clearly. He chooses his words with precision. He notices what others miss. He connects dots younger men don't even see. This difference isn't genetics. It's engagement. A man's brain remains powerful only as long as he gives it a reason to be. The sharp older man is the one who never stopped challenging his mind. He reads instead of scrolling endlessly. He learns instead of complaining. He solves instead of avoiding. He listens more than he speaks. He stays curious about the world. Curiosity is the mental fountain of youth. The moment a man stops being curious, his mind begins to stiffen. A man in his 60s who still asks questions, who still wants to grow, is not aging. He's upgrading. This man can negotiate, reason, analyze, and lead with insight earned through decades. Younger men rely on energy. Older men rely on strategy. And strategy wins far more battles. A sharp mind makes an older man incredibly hard to manipulate or mislead. He sees intentions. He hears the truth behind the tone. He can detect dishonesty almost instantly. That is not age. That is mastery. But if you really want to know who the rarest older men are, Look at how they move, not physically, but internally. Sign 3. The balance of a centered man. Balance is something most men never think about until they start losing it. But balance is not just a physical skill. Balance is a reflection of a man's internal order. A 60-year-old who still moves with stability, who can stand on one leg, shift his weight, or walk confidently without hesitation, has lived a disciplined life. His steadiness is not luck. It is the result of decades of consistency. Because a man who is unstable in his body is often unstable everywhere else. His decisions waver. His confidence cracks. His emotions swing. His posture shows surrender before his mouth ever speaks. But the man with balance radiates calm strength. Watch him enter a room, shoulders aligned, steps controlled, gaze steady. Before he says a word, you can tell he hasn't abandoned himself. Balance is the physical proof of internal discipline, of a man who never let himself rot, never drifted into chaos, never let the world push him off center. Even emotionally, this man is grounded. He doesn't overreact. He doesn't get rattled. He doesn't get thrown off by small problems. He plants his feet mentally and physically and responds instead of panicking. Balance is the quiet signature of a man who refuses to fall in any part of life. But there is one sign of strength that reveals more about a man's spirit than anything else. Sign 4. The laugh that never died. There's a kind of laughter only older men can produce. Not the wild, careless laughter of boys trying to impress each other, but a deeper, warmer sound. The laugh of a man who has been knocked down, stood back up, and chose not to turn bitter. By 60, most men have carried more than they ever talk about. Plans that didn't work, people they lost, nights they couldn't sleep, responsibilities no one thanked them for. Over time, many men grow hard and closed. Their faces tighten. Their smiles disappear. Their eyes stop lighting up. They start treating seriousness like a badge of honor. But the rare man who can still laugh freely at 60, that man is undefeated on the inside. His laughter is not denial. It's proof. Proof that life tried to crush him and failed. Proof that he can recognize pain and still choose joy anyway. You'll notice something about this kind of man. He can joke about his own mistakes. He finds humor in everyday problems. He doesn't let a bad day become a bad identity. Younger men often confuse masculinity with being cold and emotionless. They think being serious all the time makes them strong. But real strength is being able to see how heavy life is and still allow light in. An older man who laughs deeply doesn't do it because everything is perfect. He does it because he has perspective. He knows storms pass. He knows worry never fixed anything. He knows joy isn't childish, it's fuel. Laughter makes him magnetic. Children trust him. Other men relax around him. Women feel safe in his presence. Why? Because laughter says, I'm not drowning. I'm still here. And I'm still choosing life. Cynicism is easy. Complaining is easy. Blaming is easy. But to laugh after loss, after stress, after disappointment, that takes courage. If you can still laugh from your chest, not just from your teeth, you haven't grown old inside. You've grown strong. But even the strongest man collapses if he tries to carry his entire life alone. That's where the 5th sign comes in. Sign 5. The man who still walks with brothers. After 60, life quietly starts removing people from a man's world. Former co-workers retire or move. Children get busy with their own families. Old friends drift away. Some loved ones are gone for good. If a man isn't careful, he wakes up one day and realizes the phone is quiet, the house is quiet, his life is quiet. And not in a peaceful way. Many older men don't choose isolation. It just slowly forms around them. But the men who stay strong, sharp, and emotionally alive into their 60s and beyond have one thing in common. They still have brotherhood. Not just contacts, not drinking companions, Not people who only appear when they need favors. Real brothers. Men they can tell the truth to, share worries with, laugh with, argue with, and still respect. Call at midnight if something goes wrong. Brotherhood is not a luxury at this stage of life. It's survival. A man without other men to talk to becomes trapped in his own head. He carries stress with nowhere to unload it, regret with no one to help reframe it, stories with no one to appreciate them, fears with no voice saying, "I've been there too." Loneliness doesn't just hurt emotionally, it makes the body weaker and the mind duller. A man alone ages twice as fast, but a man with brotherhood, he stays anchored. His stories stay alive. His opinions stay sharp. His sense of humor stays intact. His identity stays solid. You can tell a lot about an older man by the men beside him. If he's surrounded by grounded, respectable men, even in his 60s, that means he has lived with loyalty, integrity, reliability, respect. Because men don't stick around weak, selfish, or constantly negative men for decades. Brotherhood must be earned. These relationships might not be big or dramatic. Sometimes it's as simple as meeting for coffee every week, walking together in the morning, helping each other fix things, talking honestly about health, fears, and family. It's not about nostalgia. It's about staying engaged with life. Brotherhood also keeps a man valuable. When another man calls you for advice, shows up at your door, or asks for your help, it reminds you of something crucial. You still matter. That sense of being needed is one of the most powerful medicines against decline. At 60, a man doesn't need a huge circle. He needs a small tribe he can trust. 3 or 4 solid men are worth more than 100 shallow connections. If you don't have that yet, it's never too late to build it. Join a group or class. Volunteer. Go where men gather with purpose, not just to escape, but to grow. Brotherhood isn't built by time alone. It's built by truth, reliability, and showing up. If you still have brothers who challenge you, check on you, and stand beside you, you are far richer than most men your age. But there's an even deeper level of strength, one that doesn't depend on anyone else. That's the 6th sign, the mark of a man who refuses to be owned by age or circumstance. Sign 6, the man who can still stand alone. There comes a moment in every man's life, often in his 50s, unmistakably by his 60s, when he realizes something uncomfortable yet liberating. No one is coming to save him. Not his partner, not his grown children, not society, not luck, not time. And at that crossroads, men split into 2 types. One group collapses. They become dependent. They wait for others to cook for them, plan for them, entertain them, and tell them what to do next. Life becomes something that happens to them. But the other group, they awaken. These are the sovereign men, the ones who take full command of their own lives, no matter their age. Self-sufficiency at 60 is not normal anymore. It's extraordinary. Why? Because most men spend decades taking care of others and never learn to take care of themselves. But a sovereign man understands that self-care is not softness. It is self-respect. He knows how to cook real meals, keep his home in order, manage his finances, maintain his health, handle his emotions, create structure in his day, solve problems without waiting for someone else. This is not about being isolated or stubborn. It's about being capable. Cooking becomes more than food. It becomes proof that he can transform raw materials into something meaningful. A clean home is more than order. It is clarity. Managing his health is more than discipline. It is dignity. A sovereign man treats his environment like a reflection of his inner strength. He fixes what breaks. He refuses to live in chaos. He doesn't hide from responsibilities. He doesn't drift through his days. He still leads himself. Emotionally, he is steady. He can comfort himself. He can face loneliness without falling apart. He can process stress without exploding. He knows how to stay upright even when life doesn't cooperate. Financially, he is responsible, not wealthy necessarily, but aware and intentional. He knows where his money goes. He doesn't live in confusion or avoidance. He prioritizes what matters. Spiritually, he stands firm in his philosophy, whatever that may be for him. His beliefs have been tested by time, and he carries them with purpose. A man who can still take care of himself at 60 cannot be controlled by neediness, fear, dependency, uncertainty, age itself. He becomes his own anchor, his own protector, his own provider. If you can still stand on your own 2 feet at 60, the world cannot break you because you've already learned to hold yourself up. But there is one last sign: the highest expression of masculine maturity. And it is the one most men lose first. Sign 7. The man who still decides with clarity. By 60, many men lose their decisiveness. They hesitate. They overthink. They drag their feet. They look to others for permission. They feel unsure of themselves. Their entire identity shrinks into one quiet phrase: "I'm not sure." But the men who remain powerful, respected, and magnetic into their 60s share one final mark. They still decide quickly, calmly, clearly, not recklessly, not impulsively, not emotionally, but with authority. A man loses the respect of others the moment he loses the ability to choose. A man gains respect the moment he chooses with intention. Because decisiveness is not about ego, it's about identity. A man who knows who he is can make decisions. A man who doubts himself hesitates. By 60, a man has seen enough life to recognize patterns instantly. He can tell the difference between a real opportunity and a distraction. He knows when someone is honest or playing games. He can feel when something is worth his time and when it's not. He knows which risks matter and which ones lead nowhere. Younger men rely on analysis. Older men rely on clarity. That clarity creates authority, direction, momentum, confidence. A decisive older man cannot be misled, guilted, manipulated, or rushed. Evaluatis. He chooses. And once he chooses, he commits. People follow men like this naturally, not because they demand leadership, but because they embody it. Decisiveness is one of the last forms of masculine power that time cannot take away. Even if the body slows, even if the world changes, a man can still control the choices he makes. He decides his standards. He decides his boundaries. He decides his purpose. He decides how he will age. He decides how he shows up each day. A decisive man is not loud. He is clear. If you can still make firm decisions at 60, you haven't lost authority, you've sharpened it. Now that you've listened to 7 signs, let's bring it all home with one final message, one that every man, young or old, needs to hear. If you are over 60 and you still climb stairs, still think sharply, still laugh deeply, still walk with brothers, still stand on your own, still decide with clarity, you are not an old man. You are a forged man. You survived challenges younger men have never faced. You carried responsibility without applause. You rebuilt yourself after heartbreak. You kept moving through pressure, stress, and loss. And somehow, you became more grounded, not less. Most men surrender to age. But you? You've proven something timeless. Strength isn't measured in youth, it's measured in refusal. Refusal to quit, refusal to shrink, refusal to let comfort steal your fire. If you're younger watching this, understand this truth now. You don't become a powerful 60-year-old by accident. You build him with the choices you make today. When nobody's watching, when life gets heavy, when discipline feels tiring. Because the man you're becoming right now is the man you'll have to live with later. Your 60s aren't the end. They are the reveal. The moment life shows you exactly who you've built. And if you can still embody these 7 signs, you are not fading, you are rising. You are entering the era of the unbroken man, a man younger men admire without knowing why. Age does not weaken a disciplined man. Age sharpens him. Age steels him. Age crowns him. Your best years aren't behind you. They are waiting for the man you choose to be today. Thanks for listening.